Yo, what do buddy? I'm Martic. Hope you're having a good day. We just got a new patch notes that just dropped, and these changes are freaking massive. This update will come out tomorrow on September 26th, and now let's go ahead and take a look at all these big changes. Subscribe and ring the bell icon so you don't miss anything on Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Let's get it. Alright, first few ones are for Hitchhiker. Hitchhiker Trap Exploit fixed an exploit where Hitchhiker players could use his trap to pass through walls and doors. Never knew that was a thing, but it's fixed. The next fix for Hitchhiker is the trap interaction issues. We've resolved an issue where victims would be unable to interact with gaps, cross spaces, and other elements after stepping in a Hitchhiker trap. I'm glad that's getting fixed. This bug occurred every time you stepped on a trap that was above a ladder, I believe, and then after that you just couldn't play the game pretty much. And here's the last change for Hitchhiker. Hitchhiker traps at ladder exits. We have adjusted the area at the top of the ladder where the Hitchhiker can place a trap. This still allows for strategic play, but will give victims an opportunity to counter the trap. So what this sounds like to me, I don't know for sure, but it seems like the Hitchhiker can no longer place his traps like right at the top of the ladder. There will be some sort of gap now so that victims can actually stand there and disarm the trap. Now hear me out, this might be a hot take or whatever. So this change for the Hitchhiker, I don't really like it, and this is coming from a victim player. I usually play victims the most, and I always thought that placing a trap at the top of the ladder was fine. I didn't think it was cheating or exploiting, but a lot of people didn't like it because they said there's nothing they can do about it and they just have to step on it. Well, what I've always done is not use the ladder exits. If you see a Hitchhiker in the lobby, then don't use ladders. There's 4 other doors in the basement that you can escape from. And not just that, it kind of takes away from like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre experience, I guess you can say, because before this method of the placing the trap on top of a ladder, it changes up the player's playstyle. Like while you're waiting in the lobby, if you see a certain map you're about to play on, it changes up the way you play, it changes your perks you want to use, your loadout you want to use, and stuff like that. Same goes for the killers. If you see a Hitchhiker in the lobby, it changes the way you play by telling yourself, okay, since Hitchhiker's in here, don't use the ladder and watch out for traps. And another thing is, you can actually drop down from the ladder right before you step on the trap. So while you're climbing up the ladder, you can see if there's a trap there, and if there is a trap there, just go ahead and drop down from the ladder and then go find another exit. But since this is getting changed now, you can use ladders safely, I guess. But yeah, that's just my hot take on it. But it is what it is. I'm fine with this change. They're listening to the community because the majority of the community wanted this change. And yeah, moving on. Next fix we got is Johnny and Sissy lunge. Johnny and Sissy both had a lunge that was greater than the other family members. We've adjusted this to be more in line with the rest of the family members. This should also correct the Johnny build we're seeing used in public matches. So to be honest, I had no idea Sissy had the lunge, but I knew Johnny did, and so a lot of Johnny players use easily tuckered out with scout, and then you just swing away at the victims, instantly catching up to them and then killing them. So yeah, this lunge is getting fixed, and I'm curious to test out the new Johnny. Next fix, brightness cheat, fixed an issue that would allow PC users to adjust their in-game brightness outside of accepted levels by editing game files. Next change is the fuse box reset. The family can now turn the fuse box off after a victim turns it on. There's a cooldown applied to the switch, similar to generators and car batteries. In a way, it's kind of similar to like how the Valve tank is right now, and maybe you have to defend it now for a little bit and let the other victims escape or something like that. Next change is the family stun immunity. Family now has a 10-second stun immunity period after an initial stun ends. There is no stun immunity after a family member is stunned by a victim bursting out of a hiding spot. If you attempt to stun a family member who has immunity, you will not see the prompt for Leland's ability or backstab. If you attempt to stun a family member who has immunity with a door slam, it will have no effect. Close encounters all vary in duration due to the individual family members having different stun recovery times. Therefore, the immunity period is different for each. I think this is a good change, especially for people who bully Leatherface because they always use the door on them, and now you won't be stuck getting slammed by a door for like 2 minutes straight. I'm pretty sure it happened to everybody who played as Leatherface before. However, they did change so that when you knock down a Leatherface by the door, you can't follow up the door slam with the Leland's ability or backstab. I don't know about that change, but then after thinking about it, I see why they made that change. Is because let's say if you knock down a Leatherface, right? And after he gets back up, you backstab him. And then by the time he recovers from that backstab, the 10-second stun immunity from the door will probably wear off by then, and then you could just stun him again with the door. And then you could just rinse and repeat that with bone scraps if you have 2 in your inventory or something like that. Next changes, we got a couple of nerfs for victims perks. Taekwondo perk levels reduced. Level 1 is 5 seconds, 2 is 6 seconds, 3 is 8 seconds, and agitator perk has been reduced. Level 1 only reduces ground pulse levels by 1.5, level 2 reduces by 2, level 3 reduces by 2.5. Next change, stealth performance in minigames. We have adjusted the amount of noise generated in gathering minigames when at full stealth. To be honest, I don't know what this means, so if you have full stealth, you might have a chance to make noise, I guess? I have no idea. Next up, Leland's ability stun duration. We have adjusted the stun duration upgrades for Lilian's lifesaver ability. So by reading this, I'm assuming that they nerfed the stun duration upgrades for Lilian's ability. I don't think it's a buff. So for example, in Lilian's ability tree, you can increase the stun duration from his shoulder bash. So level 1 is 10 seconds, level 2 is 11 seconds, and level 3 is 12 seconds. So I'm just guessing that they reduced the seconds on that. So level 1 might be like 8 seconds, level 2 9 seconds, and then level 3 10 seconds. And the last thing they said here is, as we mentioned previously, we'll be starting to shift away from weekly patching, and the next patches may be a little less rigid in their scheduling and timing, meaning we'll have a new muerto times when it makes sense to do so. So this might be the last weekly patch we're getting. The next patch might come out in 2 to 3, maybe a month or something like that. So what do you guys think of this 4th edition of the updates? Leave all your thoughts and comments down below. Keep it friendly. If you disagree with one another, then that's fine. Just keep it nice and friendly down there. But I'm excited for these changes. But that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Subscribing to the bell icon to be notified every time we upload a brand new video. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.